Reports are escalating regarding the New York Knicks and their potential trade targets. And now, according to an NBA insider, he notes that the New York Knicks are currently targeting veteran guards. We're going to break down this report, see exactly who they're targeting, and give you so much more information today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure to have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are apparently targeting veteran guards. At this point, it's like each and every day I wake up, there's a new report stating that the New York Knicks are targeting another player. But now today, it's completely different. Because today, it's not a player that the Knicks are targeting. It's a group of veteran guards that the New York Knicks are targeting. Let's go to the latest report that we have here from Mark Stein, an NBA insider for a very long time, who gives us the latest report here on the New York Knicks and the potential targets they're looking at right now. According to Mark Stein, the New York Knicks have reportedly shown interest in a bevy of veteran guards ahead of the February 8th NBA trade deadline. Mark Stein noted that the Knicks have a level of interest in Utah's Jordan Clarkson, Charlotte's Terry Rozier, Portland's Malcolm Brogdon, and the Pistons' Alec Burks. He's not the only insider to note this as well too. According to SNY's Ian Begley, he also notes that various reports have linked the Knicks to Portland's Malcolm Brogdon and Charlotte's Terry Rozier, and other bench scorers as well too. But SNY has not independently confirmed those reports. As of late last week, the Knicks had not made significant contact with Portland on Brogdon, but obviously things can change quickly at this time of the year. And we also have another insider that gives us even more insight into the New York Knicks and their dealings at the trade deadline. According to NBA insider Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype, he also notes that the Knicks are doing their due diligence and are looking at various players across the league, including Hornets guard Scary Terry, Blazers guard Malcolm Brogdon, and former Tom Thibodeau favorite Alec Burks. In addition, the Knicks are surveying the trade market for a backup power forward. Oh, you thought we were done? No, we're not done. Yet another NBA insider from The Athletic in Fred Katz also notes the following players that the New York Knicks could potentially go after and they showed interest in. Portland Trail Blazers guard Malcolm Brogdon, Jordan Clarkson with Utah, Colin Sexton with Utah, the Hornets Terry Rozier, former Indiana Pacer and now current Raptor Bruce Brown, TJ McConnell, the Atlanta Hawks Bogdan Bogdanovic, the Cleveland Cavaliers Karis LeVert, and the Dallas Mavericks Tim Hardaway Jr. What happened? Where did all these names come from? Because it was only a few weeks ago, if I remember correctly, where the Knicks had exploratory talks on a potential deal for Dejounte Murray. So you're telling me we went from Dejounte Murray to Alec Burks? How did we get from here all the way over here? Now, don't get me wrong. Look, listen, I get it. Maybe the Knicks can get Alec Burks for the cheap. And yes, he's a Tom Thibodeau favorite. So maybe he understands the system. Maybe he has chemistry with some of the players there. I get it. I understand it. I don't care. He is not the move to make. You don't need to make that move. Maybe if you strike out on Murray and you strike out on Jordan Clarkson and you strike out on some of these other players, then maybe you can sell me they had no choice but to go after Burks, and he still fills the need. He still helps to score and space the floor. If you want to sell me that, maybe, but you have to wait. You can't sell me that now because there's still too many moves on the table that the New York Knicks can make besides adding Alec Burks. But here's what scares me, guys, because you know how I trust Ian Begley. He reported the following. Logic tells you that the Knicks will have a degree of interest in Detroit's Alec Burks. Thibodeau loved Burks during his 2-year stint in New York. I'm not happy, guys. I'm not happy we're reading that. I don't care if Tom Thibodeau was happy with him. We have enough players with the roster right now that fit Tom Thibodeau's mold. And there are other players that we can add that might help build to this mold better than Tom Thibodeau's favorite player in Alec Burks could do. Because honestly, I've seen enough of Burks and I have a little bit of PTSD with Burks because I saw him start at point guard over Emmanuel Quickley game after game after game. So I apologize if I don't want to see him don the orange and blue again. Now, if he does, just based off of circumstance, because we couldn't get anybody else, and he's the best low-cost addition, okay. Like I said, at that point, you can sell me on that. Now, today, with Dejounte Murray, AJ Griffin still on the table, no, you are not selling me on an Alec Burks. You are not selling me on a Malcolm Brogdon. You are not selling me on a Scary Terry, who, by the way, is having a good year on an extremely terrible, awful Charlotte Hornets team. We have to take that into context. Some of the worst players can look very well on the worst teams. We have to remember that. We cannot be tricked by performances like this when they're playing on such a bad team. I understand the interest. I understand that Terry can go ahead and start. He can come off the bench. Same thing for Clarkson, by the way, who I would prefer the Knicks trade for, or Colin Sexton. But the only reason I don't mention Colin is because I think he's playing so well right now. And I look around the league. I look at the other players we saw on that list. And if I can't get Murray, then I'm going after Clarkson. And I know I understand Clarkson, off year, bad year, not shooting the ball well, career lows, right? That's where opportunity lies. And if you're dealing with Danny Ainge, you need to be able to deal with an opportunity. If you're just trading for Clarkson, you might be able to get him on the low for cheap. And a change of scenery for him might unlock him and help the Knicks. He fits the Knicks' age timeline, only 31 years old. He also is a walking bucket. I think this year, even on a down year, he's averaging 17 points. And shout out to Bleacher Report for giving us the following information about each of the top players the New York Knicks could potentially be targeting that are quote-unquote veteran guards. Obviously starting with Clarkson, I just mentioned it, 31 years old. He's averaging 17.9 points per game this season, and he was the 2020-2021 NBA Sixth Man of the Year, which speaks to his comfortability coming off the bench and lighting up the scoreboard. Like I said before, I like Clarkson. I like his game. If the Knicks cannot get Murray, then I'm okay with you going after Clarkson, trying to get him on this roster, especially if you can get him for a cheap deal. But obviously, when you're dealing with Danny Ainge, you never know what a cheap deal really means. Next on this list is obviously Scary Terry. He's 29 years old. He missed some time due to injury this season, but he otherwise is enjoying a career year with 24 points and 6.7 assists per game in 27 appearances. Like I said, playing good on a bad team. He's playing well. They're not really winning games, regardless how well he plays. He's also missed a lot of time due to significant injury. He's just started playing some games. Do we really want another player on that who potentially could get injured when you need him the most? Do you really want to make a trade for a player like that? In my opinion, I'm good skipping him as well too. Next on that list, and of course, he's always going to be on the list. He's always been linked to the Knicks, actually just as much as Dejounte Murray has been. Brogdon was the 2016-2017 NBA Rookie of the Year while with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he enjoyed success after trades to the Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics as well, winning the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award last season with Boston. If New York misses on Dejounte Murray, I can absolutely see the Knicks going after Malcolm Brogdon. There have been a number of reports, a number of NBA insiders, a number of NBA league sources that have actually stated that if the New York Knicks are going to go after a guard, Malcolm Brogdon might be that guard for them. And if you think about it logically, they just lost their Sixth Man of the Year and they need more scoring off the bench. And if you were to trade and get the Sixth Man of the Year of last year on your team, some people would call that a quality upgrade and think the New York Knicks did exactly what they needed to do at the trade deadline. And maybe some people can make that argument. For me, I just don't want Brogdon on this team. He is too injury prone in my opinion, and he might miss significant time with an injury when you need him the most. And that's my concern. He's already missed time with the Blazers. If he's already missed time with the Blazers, what makes you think he won't miss time with the New York Knicks? That's always going to be a concern. That's why I rather the Knicks go after players that can help contribute right now, make an impact right now, and have little to no injury concern. And in my opinion, some players that fit that mold, if you can't get Murray, is Jordan Clarkson. I would absolutely go ahead and target him. But another player that's on this list is the Atlanta Hawks' Bojan Bogdanovic. The only problem is I don't think Atlanta would part with him, because why would they part with him when they're giving us such a hard time parting with Dejounte Murray? but he's absolutely somebody else. If the New York Knicks could target and get, I would absolutely want on this roster because coming off the bench or starting, whatever you wanted him to do, let me tell you this. He is a bucket. He can give you three-point shots wherever you wanted him to be on the floor. He can help space the floor. Defenders would absolutely have to collapse on him, increasing the paint space for all of your drivers there, including Brunson, including Randall. But not only that, I think when you pull that many defenders, the ball is going to move even more freely, and a lot more players on the Knicks are going to have open shots to get the shots they need off. And I think that's going to help everybody on this roster because once you're touching the ball and you have an impact and you're scoring and you feel involved, there's no telling what a team like that, a team motivated like that, could potentially do. I don't know what happened. I feel like 1 week we were talking about Dejounte Murray and the next week now we're talking about Alec Burks. I understand what people can tell me. I can understand people wanting to sell me this particular scenario or this particular scenario. I'm good with that. But let me say this again. I'm not there yet. The Knicks are not there yet. We're nowhere near there yet, okay? Right now, Dejounte Murray is still available. He's still on the table. Until Dejounte Murray is off the table and he goes to another team legitimately, it is up to the Leon Rose era of the New York Knicks front office to do everything in their power to get the best deal done to get him on this roster. That's what they need to do. And once, and hopefully he doesn't, but once he leaves the market and goes to another team, if the Knicks don't get him at that point in time, then the Knicks can go out there, look for another player on the open market, and see who they can get to add to this roster. But I'm hoping that the New York Knicks are doing all of this to put pressure on the Atlanta Hawks to take whatever offer they've given them that's on the table right now for Dejounte Murray. I hope this is a pressure play and a pressure move by Leon Rose and the Knicks to get a deal done for Murray. Because if not, and they're legitimately targeting a lot of these players, it's going to really concern me going into the trade deadline in a few weeks, especially if a few of these names go off the board. Right now, the Knicks need to just focus on Dejounte and try to get him on the Knicks. If and when he gets off of that board and goes to another team, then and only then can the New York Knicks go ahead, look at these other names, and target a couple of other players. And at that point in time, we can have a conversation on best available player and who fits the Knicks best at that point in time. But right now, I'm on the Murray train, and I am not getting off until that situation in Atlanta is resolved. But what about you guys? What do you think about this latest report that the New York Knicks are absolutely targeting veteran guards at this point in time? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.